Welcome to this training lesson on starting up the Mig-29A Fulcrum. We'll power up the aircraft, taxi it to the runway, and finally have our bird into the sky. First, let's ensure the aircraft remains stationary by installing the wheel chocks securely. Open the intercom communication menu by pressing \. Then navigate to F8 ground crew, F5 wheel chocks, F1 place. Once the ground crew chief confirms chocks are in place, press spacebar to proceed.
Установить колодки. Принял. Командир, колодки установлены.
Okay, now request the ground power. Press \/ once more, then consequently press F8 ground crew, F2 ground electric power, F1 on. Once the ground crew reports, move the BUD ground supply switch, located on the right wall, to the up position.
Подключить питание. Принял. Командир, наземное электропитание подключено.
Click the base of the control stick to hide it in order to get a clear view of the clock and other controls. Check the voltmeter indicates approximately 28 volts, plus minus 0.5. Then, turn all electrical power panel switches to on, up position. No need to operate each switch. You can use a special metal helper frame to move all up at once. Turn to the right. On the system power panel, turn on the following switches: navigation, gyro standby, gyro main, ACFT-Cs. Press the right hand button on the clock to start the stopwatch needle. After 30-40 seconds have elapsed since the gyros were powered, begin the heading alignment. Simultaneously press the MAG HDG slave, magnetic heading slave, and comp 0, computation 0 lamp buttons for 10-15 seconds. Use the keyboard keys G and 9 respectively to activate them. Confirm that the HSI needle aligns with the true heading of your stationary aircraft. Turn your head to the right rear horizontal panel. Move the navigation switch over prepare, operation prepare, to over position. Press the lamp test button. Confirm that all warning lights are functional. Press the lamp button to the left of the ILS to turn off the master cautions. Check speed indicators. Mach 0.2 to 0.29. TAS or true airspeed 110 to 190. 0 is the altimeter reading by rotating the adjustment knob. Adjust radio altimeter back to 200 feet. Minimum altitude for standard landing pattern. Press the test button to check the radio altimeter functionality. Confirm the needle settles at 45 feet test mark. Check hydraulic pressure readings on the combined pressure indicator are settled within the egg region. Press the Ekran call button. In a while, two messages should appear consequently. Self-test, Ekran ready. Check fuel quantity, 3,100, 3,700. Confirm that the navigation system is activated. The WPAD number 1 and beacons number 1 lamp buttons must be eliminated. Temporarily switch to the standby gyro system by moving gyro, select switch to standby position. And check HSI needle reads the same heading. Return gyro selector switch to main. Push the set course switch to man position. Adjust HSI course selector knob to set required Mazdog AB landing course 262 degrees. Push the set course switch back to auto. Turn your head to the left rear horizontal panel. Confirm oxygen flow valve is open and oxygen mix 100% is in mix position. Press spacebar to continue. Check brake pressures. 8 plus minus 0.5 kg per square centimeter at brake lever press, W. And 11 plus minus 1 kg per square centimeter when run up brake lever is depressed, left shift plus W. The gauges should read 0 pressure if both levers are released. Turn your head to the right console and confirm the navigation system has finished the fast initialization phase by observing the fast prep lamp is lit. Power up the radio communication equipment by moving the radio switch located on the system power panel to on position. Now, we're ready to start the engines. Since the radio in this lesson has already been pre-tuned for communication with ATC, we can request clearance from the Mazdog tower. Open the ATC communication menu by pressing right Alt plus / combination, and then consequently select the following items: F5 ATC, F1 Mazdog, F3 request startup. Upon positive response, hide the radio menu by pressing F12. Finally, turn on the onboard recording system by moving the record switch to the on position.
Ассистент 129. Запуск.
the canopy until fully locked. Check pin flush, ecran no signal, lock canopy light out.
Ассистент 129. Запуск.
Set the ejection seat arm between your knees to arm position by left-clicking over the middle part of the arm. The startup of both engines at once is the most common way to bring MiG to life. Check whether the startup mode switch is in the start both position. Pull throttles to idle. Press right Alt plus Home to set left throttle grip to idle position, and right Shift plus Home for right throttle respectively. Press the ground start button. One by one, both engines should go leave and settle at idle. Monitor. Right, left engine start lamp go on in sequence. Right engine leads. Engine RPM rise. Both hydro failure light extinguish. Hydraulic pressure rise. Ramps closure at 35 RPM. Right, left engine start lamps extinguish. EGT within limits. RPM settles between 58-72% at idle. Once the engines come to life and aircraft self-powered, request disconnection of the ground power. / Intercom communication menu. F11 parent menu. F8 ground crew. F2 ground electric power. F2 again off. Press spacebar once the ground crew chief reports on success.
Отключить питание.
Принял. Командир, наземное электропитание отключено.
It's time to proceed with the post-engine startup procedures. Return back the view of the stick model by clicking on its base in the cockpit or press backspace. Check the trim system. First, pitch trim full forward, right control plus semicolon. Check for corresponding stick movement, trim aft, right control plus dot, until step trim neutral light on the warning light panel, TLP, illuminates. Second, aileron trim full right, right control plus slash. Check for corresponding stick movement, then trim left, right control plus comma, until L trim neutral light on the warning lights panel illuminates. Third, rudder trim to the right, right control plus X, until rod trim neutral light on the TLP extinguishes. Trim back, right control plus Z to neutral. Press the spacebar to continue. Power up the AFCS, moving the corresponding switch to on position. Monitor the AFCS auto beat in progress. The damper light is blinking. Note, just don't move the flight stick until the end of beat. We'll come to it in the following steps, but now we'll proceed with other procedures while the beat goes. Check if COC, the Flight Envelope Protection System, is functional by monitoring the COC fail and no COC reserve light extinguishes on the Annunciator Warning Panel, TLP. Switch on the pitot heat. Check voice warning system. Press to test.
Bingo, bingo.
Check the ADF radio compass system functionality. Set ADF RSBN switch to ADF. Switch on the ADF mode on UHF VHF radio panel. Listen to the airdrome outer beacon Morse code in the earphones and check the direction of the needle on HSI, showing the position of the beacon on plan. Now, look right above the radio altimeter. Find the outer inner switch and switch it to the inner position. Listen to the inner directional beacon signal and again check the direction on the indicator. Set outer-inner switch back to the outer position. Switch off the ADF mode on the UHF-VHF radio panel. Set ADF RSBN switch back to RSBN. Switch on the radar, homing and warning RHAO system. Note that RHAO has a RWR indicator named SPO. So switch the corresponding SPO switch to on and see the notch at the nose of the aircraft silhouette goes on. Let's run a self-test by first holding the test switch to the right in the auto position. Upon doing so, the function light of the nose of the aircraft symbol will extinguish, but all the other lights will illuminate. After a few seconds, the function light will illuminate, and you can release the switch. Set the desired brightness of the SPO indicator lamps by adjusting the bright knob. Press the spacebar to continue. Check if AFCS beat ended up successfully. Check. Temper off, light is off. Temper light is lit steadily. If it fails and various lamps are blinking, restart beat test manually using the following procedure. Center the flight stick using the trim buttons until pitch and aileron neutral trim lights illuminate. Right control plus dot, right control plus semicolon, right control plus comma, and right control plus slash. Press AFCS modes off control button on the stick shortly. Use left alt plus 9 combination for this. If AFCS beat succeeds, check the flaps slats movement by pressing any of the down buttons on the left flaps control panel. Confirm that the flaps and slats are deployed, both visually and via the corresponding indicator. Then press the up button on the flaps panel to retract them. Note, when the flaps are extended, the maximum gain of the nose wheel strut is reduced.
Check aircraft.
Check the variable duct ramps functions correctly. A. Push the left-right throttle to 80-90 passants RPM. B. Turn your head to the right-rear horizontal panel and check if the left-right inlet check lights illuminate. Pull the throttles back to idle and confirm the lights go off. Reset trim system to neutral. Watch the green rudder and aileron neutral trim lights illuminate. Use the following keyboard combinations for trimming. Right control plus dot, right control plus semicolon, right control plus comma, and right control plus slash. Go to the aft side of the right console. Power up the Armament Control System, ACS, and weapon circuits by moving corresponding switches to the forward position. Verify that the ECRON queue is clear of active warnings. To do this, press the ECRON call button repeatedly until the queue indicator turns off and the memory indicator turns on. Issue a command to remove the wheel chocks. Press / to communicate, then navigate to F8, ground crew, F5, wheel chocks, F2, remove. Press spacebar after positive response of the ground chief.
Убрать колодки. Принял. Командир, колодки убраны.
Request taxi. Press right Alt plus / to communicate with the ATC. Then navigate to F5 ATC, F1 Mazda, F1 request taxi. Press spacebar upon permission.
Ассистент, 129. Запуск.
Check the wheel brakes before taxi. Press and hold the W button. Then gradually increase RPM to 80%, num+. The aircraft should remain stationary, but may crawl in the wet conditions. Release the wheel brakes. Once the aircraft pulls away, reduce throttles back to idle and allow the aircraft to keep the moment and roll slowly by itself. Keep the aircraft slow in turns. Right before the sharp turn, press and hold the nose wheel steering button, left Alt plus Q, to increase wheel gain, and gradually press the pedal to steer to the desired direction. Release the button. Note that the nose wheel strut is placed well behind the pilot seat, so think of it in turns. Keep a 72-75 RPM while taxiing to have a comfortable taxiing speed, requiring minimum brake inputs from the pilot.
Ассистент, 129.
Make a stop at a runaway threshold and request a takeoff from ATC. Press right Alt plus / to call ATC. Then F1, request takeoff. Steer to the runway and stop when the aircraft is well aligned along the center line. Takeoff is typically performed at maximum throttle. The afterburner may also be used during training or when the aircraft is carrying external payloads. Note that pressing 0 unlocks the afterburner detents on the throttles when needed. Press F button to lower the flaps and check their extension visually and by IP52 combined gear, flaps and slats indicator. One more time check the roll, pitch, heading and course indicators. Confirm 0 readings of the altimeter. Start the stopwatch and flight timer on the clock. Check the lead state of the fuel unit takeoff landing lamp and the state of 3 green neutral trimmer lights on the warning panel. Press the run-up brake trigger, left shift plus W, to apply the most possible pressure to the wheels brakes. Gradually push the throttles to max position. Watch the aircraft lower the nose on the brakes complying with the thrust. Check the EGT readings are within the yellow sector and engine RPM difference is not bigger than 4%. Release the brakes. Keep the stick neutral on the run. Apply the necessary pressure to pull the stick back and raise the nose once the aircraft reaches the speed of 125-130 knots. Place the horizon right above the IR sensor on the nose, keeping the pitch reading on the HUD within 8 to 10 degrees. Once in the air, keep the pitch and maintain it within 8 to 10 degrees. Retract gear G at 32 to 50 feet of altitude. Check the landing gear lamps go off and hydraulic pressure is normalized on combined pressure gauges. Retract flaps F at altitude of 350 feet. And check the corresponding lights extinguish on the indicator. Once the airspeed reaches 270 knots, adjust the engine RPM to be within efficient 83 to 85% and maintain the climb rate at 985 to 1480 feet per meter. Keep 270 knots until clear of the airbase's immediate control zone. Then continue free flying. The lesson is over. Press Escape for exiting.